Okay, so we're looking at the fundamental updates for this week. As of the time making this video, this is 21st of September 2025. And if you've been following me by now, you should know that I post fundamental updates every single weekend, right? About the coming week, and we'll look at what we had last week before we understand what we're going to have this week. So, first of all, let's go on to what we had last week. Last week was an amazing week, very, very volatile, very, very crazy, as predicted. I told you all that it's going to be a very volatile week in the last fundamental updates because we had the FOMC meeting coming out. We predicted that the US government, they are going to cut interest rates, and that is exactly what they did. We predicted that dollar is going to sell massively, and that is exactly what dollar did. Everything played out just as predicted, and I taught you all a little bit concept about buy the rumor and sell the fact, right? And I told you all that the important news that is going to take place are mostly the CPI on card, the FOMC news on USD, and then also the BOJ policy rate cut, which is also an interest rate policy on Japanese yen, which is the JPY. And that is exactly the news the market's focused on. Currently, our market focus is still on monetary policy, which means the investors are still looking at the market and wondering, okay, what will happen next now that they have cut interest rates? But let's look at the chart of last week on dollar and see what happened after the rate cut, right? Well, this was dollar last week. This was where dollar started from last week, right? You can see this was where dollar started from last week. And once the week started on Tuesday, you can see that dollar priced them based on the news, right? Based on rumor. The news was supposed to be released on Wednesday, but dollar priced them based on rumors and sold massively, right? Dollar sold massively based on rumors. Let me increase my brightness a bit. Dollar sold massively based on rumors. And then what happened on Wednesday? On Wednesday, the news was then released, right, which was still a bearish spike, but this one was more like a spike. Now, why did this happen? It happened because investors has already sold and profited from the news, so they started taking profit. It just like buy the rumor, sell the fact. So they started taking profit the moment the news was released. And once the news was released and they started taking profits, the market all of a sudden from a bearish move became a bullish move. You understand? Because investors has already made their profits from the prediction of the FOMC meeting, which they predicted that they will cut interest rates, predicting dollar will sell. They've already made profits and already sold dollar all this while, and they sold massively still on Tuesday. On Wednesday of the news release, it just came out as a spike, right? It came out as a spike because they have already made profit from it. All investors are already taking profit at this particular level. They're already taking profit at this particular level, and that was what resulted to the bullish rise on dollar. You can see dollar all of a sudden became bullish. You understand? Dollar all of a sudden became bullish. Also, why dollar became bullish was because after they cut interest rate, the Fed said that they would still be expecting another interest rate, but it will not be much this year, right? Before, investors were expecting up to 3 interest rate cuts this year, but the Fed said they are only expecting one more. So due to the fact that it's only one more interest rate cut, they're already feeling like, oh, dollar can be positive anytime soon. Dollar can be bullish anytime soon. Let us take our profits. We don't trust this. We don't trust this statement that the Fed gave us. That is what the investor did, and that is exactly what happened. A lot of us made profits from it. You can see Euro USD went up massively from this zone, right? Euro USD went up massively from this zone, and if you saw an entry, because I know some of my friends that saw an entry at this zone, they cut it based on the fundamental news report I gave them. They took profits. I told them to take profits before even the news was released. Most of my students sold Euro USD after the news has been released, right? We sold Euro USD after the news has been released. You can see this was a massive good entry for most of my students. We just took the trade based on a sell, and they made profit all the way back down because they already knew that, oh, since the news was released after the long spike, investors has already started taking profit. I myself, I had a trade on NZD USD based on buy, but this was my entry, right? And this was my expectation for the trade, but the trade went south and came back to hit my SL, which was actually very, very sad. But still, it was still a great week for a lot of us, right? It was still a very great week. Let me end this. I think my network is having issues. So this was where I took my entry, and I was expecting the market to, give us a little bit of retracement. And then I guess maybe when the news was released, I was expecting the spike to come and give us an entry, but the market came all the way down to mitigate our SL, and that was very, very sad for the team. But it's all cool. It's all cool. We still have more wins to come this week, and we still have more trades to be taken this week. So what else happened last week, right? I think we've seen every important thing that happened last week. For JPY, they kept interest rates steady, right? JPY was supposed to have their own rate hike. For JPY, it was supposed to be a rate hike, but they kept it steady. You can see the numbers looking the same, forecast the same as actual, the same as previous. But for the Fed fund rate cut, you can see the previous was 4.50, and the actual now and the forecast now is 4.25%, which was a rate cut from 4.50, right? So that's just simply it. I know some of these words might be confusing you. Some of this thing might be confusing you. Some of you have given up on watching fundamentals. I want you to understand I'm hosting a 2 weeks free class on the fundamental basics, right? I will break down all the basic time you need so that you can be understanding this fundamental update. But even after the 2 weeks free class, that is not still enough for you to understand macroeconomics as a whole. 2 weeks is never enough for you to learn anything and become a professional at it. If you want to become a good professional in trading fundamentals, you don't even need my updates anymore, right? Because when I started fundamental, at first I was relying on my mentor's update, but all of a sudden I don't even need this update. I can read it myself. You understand? And there are more things to read. Let's say you want to look at NZD, right? Maybe you love GBP, because some people love GBP, right? Some people in the macro mastery team, they love trading GBP. I don't talk about GBP that much. I only talk about USD and JPY, and sometimes CAD. But some people, they want to see other currency pairs. Well, you can learn them. You can even learn how to read BTC in our team. You understand? So this is our mastery class. It's a 6 months training, lifetime mentorship. You'll be learning how to read gold. If you're a fan of gold, you learn how to trade gold, you learn how to trade BTC. I've said this countless times. So in case you're interested, you know where to hit me up. You can hit me up on WhatsApp, or you can click the link in the description of this YouTube video so you can gain access to our training, and I'll forever be your mentor. You'll be taking trades like this, right? Sweet trades like this. It's still at a discount of $41, which is also for Nigerians is still at 60,000 naira. You understand? The main price is 250k. So if this discount should end, forget about it. So let's keep going. So we've seen everything that happened last week. For JPY, nothing really much happened. It was just ranging. I love looking at CAD JPY. My favorite JPY pair is CAD JPY. Let us look at what CAD JPY was doing throughout the week, just ranging. And I cannot take any trade as long as there was no break of market structure here. I cannot be finding any sell opportunity here. So we are just going to keep waiting until I get a break of this structure before I sell JPY. Or USD JPY, the same thing happened. Nothing really much happened after the rates, because they kept rates steady. After the news was released, you could see the market just spiked down. I think this was for USD rates cut. The market just spiked down. All of a sudden started climbing up. The JPY, I don't know, Japanese yen, they are not ready to hike their interest rate, which is perfectly okay. But anytime it happens, we should be expecting JPY to be bullish. So USD JPY will sell, CAD JPY will sell. Any pair that has JPY at the back would sell. You understand? So we'll still look at analysis. For now, let's just look at what we have coming up for the week ahead and what is our expectation for dollar. Now, I want you to understand that for the week ahead, first of all, I will mention the news that will affect the market. Now, you see this first news, right? This is RBA Bullock speaks, right? This is like, a very important news for the AUD section. And you can see it's happening 2 a.m. I told you that AUD is an Asian pair, right? For those who attended the weekend class, AUD is an Asian pair, a very, very important Asian pair that is correlated to China. This is why I need to be attending all my classes, all the free ones. I give out free classes, weekend analysis, weekend classes. You understand? You have to be attending them so that you'll be gaining free knowledge from me. I give out free knowledge. Even this video you're watching is a free knowledge. So don't miss out on those knowledge because they are gold. Some people will tell you to pay for these things I'm giving out. Do you understand? So the RBA is a very, very important news release, which is going to be by 2 a.m. Possibly most of us will be sleeping by then, so there's no need to be worried about it. Another one we are having is on Tuesday, which is bank holiday, which means for JPY pairs it's going to be non-volatile. We're not going to be seeing any much volatility, except if USD decides to be volatile, then USD JPY might still move in a kind of way. Now, for the dollar, most of you are asking me, is dollar still bearish? Is dollar now bullish? What are we expecting, right? That's a very, very good question. After they have cut interest rates, the market is supposed to start picking up. We're supposed to start seeing a bullish rise, but we are still expecting another rate cut. But we are not sure if the rate cut will happen anytime soon. So that is why on Tuesday, 5:35 p.m., the Fed Chairman Powell is going to have a speech. Now, that speech is what investors are waiting for to understand, okay, what are we predicting on dollar again? Now, this speech will make everything clear. I will give out the, what the speech came out as on Wednesday morning. I'll tell you what our prediction on dollar is going to be. If you're with me, if you have my WhatsApp contact, then you're lucky because I'll be posting it on my WhatsApp status and in the group in which most of you are in, right? So that speech is going to tell us if dollar is going to keep on being bearish or if dollar is going to be bullish. But based on my expectation, I expect the dollar to be bullish anytime soon. Why? Let me explain something to you. The reason for cutting interest rates is in order to stimulate the economy, is to make people to borrow more from the bank. Because when interest rate is being cut, the rate at which you are paying back what you borrow from bank is little. People borrow more from the bank. People spend more in an economy that is not doing well. If USD economy is not doing well due to inflation is dropping, they will spend more. In the process of spending more, people will get employed. People are spending money. There's movement of liquidity. All of a sudden, inflation will start rising. The economy will start booming. Do you understand? But it's a slow process. It's not immediately. But at least from now on, we should not see any, drastic sell on dollar anymore. We might be seeing, maybe dollar can still sell a bit, but it's not going to be drastically. Anytime soon, dollar might pick up. Anytime soon, there might be a change of character. Dollar will be bullish. And if you're with me, I will alert you whenever that happens. But for now, we are not going to jump into any prediction and say, oh, dollar is bullish now. No, we don't jump into prediction. We allow the data to be presented to us. So on Tuesday, I will understand what the investors are thinking, what the Fed chairman is thinking, and then I will also drop the report for you all. So another news that is very important, all these other ones are not really important. Another news that is important is the one on Friday, which is core PCE price. This one will tell us the inflation price movement if the reason that they cut interest rate have started picking up in the economy. Do you understand? So we would see the data of core PCE, or I've explained what core PCE is to you all, but let's not go there. Maybe another day, maybe on next week when the news is being released, I'll explain what it means for you all. So what are we looking at in the chart analysis for USD JPY, which is the first chart I just opened? Is still a ranging market. I don't trade ranging market. If you're a scalper and you want to go in the flow with this, you can go over to the 5 minutes time frame and be looking for your entry all the way to the top here. But for me, I am not a fan of ranging markets. This is not even a sell zone. This is neutral. I'm not a fan of ranging markets, so I don't do shit like that. You understand? So let us go over to GBP card. GBP card looks very, very confusing at the moment. I was expecting the market to keep being bullish, but I guess due to the fact that oil price is becoming stronger, due to the fact they cut interest rates. Whenever they cut interest rates, take note, right? Whenever they cut interest rate, it means oil price will be cheap, because oil is being bought in dollar. So if dollar price is dropping, oil price is cheap, people start buying oil, and that is why you see GBP card is dropping massively, because card, they are the highest suppliers of oil, and if card is strong, it means GBP card will be bearish. You can see this is the bearish movement all the way to the downside here. Yes, that's the thing. The market is very crazy. Most times, if you're using technical analysis, you will not even know why this thing is happening. But you see, fundamental have made it clear. I can look at the chart now, and I don't need to even ask myself, oh, why did this market sell so much? Why did it go down like this? Trust me, I can look at the chart and tell you, oh, this is why it happened. Oh, this is what is going to happen next. Oh, what is going to happen next? I already know what to happen next. I'm not looking at it based on FVG, based on other block, or telling you, oh, it will come back to this other block here. It price is coming back to mitigate and unmitigated other block. No, I don't do that shit, because price don't even care about all those things. Luckily, coincidentally, if fundamentals rhymes with your technicals, yes, price can get here and bounce up. If your fundamental rhymes with your technical, but what's moving the market is 80% fundamentals. Technicals are just 20%. You can find entry based on fundamentals. Do you understand? So let us look at AUD USD. Currently, AUD USD is at a level of, at a key level. I wouldn't tell you that you should take your trade from here, because if dollar is still, retracing, this will take you out. Just like how my NZD USD took me out, right? This might take you out. So be very careful when you're looking for entry on a key level, because this key level is still very much neutral. It's not a buy zone yet, it's still neutral. So if you're taking a trade, be very, very careful. So let's look at another one. GBP USD was a very, very interesting trade. Most of us also took the trade in the academy. We made profits as students, right? My students made a lot of profit from this trade. I myself, I took it on a big account with a lot of, because GBP USD gives a lot of, sometimes the losses can be much. So I took it, putting my SL as far as this zone over here, and we rode it all the way to this key level over here. But this key level, I was expecting a reaction, but it came out neutral, so the market just violated it. So this key level is no longer valid. Let us see if this next one would hold up for GBP USD, right? That is just simply it. So what are we expecting? We're expecting the market for now, just follow the flow. If you see a sell opportunity, keep selling. Don't predict a buy. Follow the flow of the market. Don't predict what is not there. Do you understand? Until the market gets to that key level and give you a reaction. What about gold? Oh, gold will keep on being bullish. I'm even looking for an entry, but I might not be able to find an entry yet until I see a good retracement. Maybe a good retracement, or maybe a good opportunity to start selling, because if the US economy start picking up, gold will obviously start selling. So I can look for an opportunity to follow the flow to the downside. But if I see that retracement all the way back here, I will sell all the way back down here. That is my prediction on gold. For now, I'm just sitting duck on gold. So let us look at dollar, which is what we're supposed to look at first. This is dollar price movement. Dollar has reached a key level of support, or would I call it of resistance, right? Support and resistance. God, it's been long. I spoke about that, support and resistance. Well, I'll just call it has reached a demand level, which is almost the same thing as support and resistance, but what the heck. So it has reached a demand level, and that is it. But will it be bullish from here? We don't know yet. We can still see a little bit of price movement to the top, and all of a sudden we can see it starts coming all the way back down. You understand? Sometimes price can just react to a level and keep going in the direction in which it's going. Dollar might still be bearish, but based on the news that will be released maybe on Tuesday, we can see dollar pick up and maybe start being bullish if the Fed says something that will make dollar to be bullish or look positive. You understand? So that is just simply what we are doing this week. Nothing much, nothing less. Is there any pair? Yes. Okay, GBP JPY have obviously started picking up. This is obviously not a trade I took. I don't take trade in ranging market. This will be based on the class I hosted, and I told them never to take a trade on a ranging market. But GBP JPY have started picking up and started looking like a trend. If we look at this is obviously a trend, and the trend has been broken. We can see a change of character. So if market should retrace, I should see a good retracement to this side, I can take the trade on a sell all the way back to this key level. Remember, this is a 4 hours time frame, so this profit is going to be huge based on GBP JPY, right? Based on GBP JPY. So that's simply it. I don't know if I'm missing out on anything. Am I missing out on anything? No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. So that being said, let's see Euro US Euro AUD, right? Yesterday I hosted a class on Euro AUD. Euro AUD, yes. And if Euro AUD should react from this key level, we should see a sell to the downside. I'm going to take a trade on it if I see a good entry, and I'll send it to my signal channels, to VIP signal members. Sorry, I'll send it to VIP signal members and my students if we see a good trade on this. But for the meantime, we're just sitting down and waiting for the market to give us a move. We're not rushing. For Euro USD, a lot of you are waiting to buy Euro USD once the market open. Please take note. Euro USD might not buy from here. Euro USD might actually keep selling. Like I say, follow the flow of the market. It might keep selling. You don't buy in the key level anyhow. The market must give you a a confirmation, a change of character before you buy. But as long as it hasn't given you a change of character, it's still selling. And if let's go over to the 45 minutes time frame, it's still very much selling. But if at least it can break this level, right? Let's say it can peacefully break this top here. If it can peacefully break this top here, that should be a valid point for you to start looking for an entry here to push it all the way to the top side. But for now, Euro USD is still very much bearish. Don't just buy immediately the week open. So I hope I covered everything. I hope that is all for this week. Yes, that should be all. I've given you the news that will affect the week and what you should focus on. With that being said, in case you have any question, make sure to ask me. For the meantime, it's your boy, it's the First Academy. Have a lovely day.